Hey, welcome back to class. So we're gonna start off today with some footwork to warm up a little bit. We're gonna start with our reverse triangle. Go slow if you need to. If you feel comfortable, you can start to speed it up. And you can keep one foot on that center as you step, or you can get offline. You could even do an extra step with each one of these. Right. Up to you. And just a little warm up. If you have a weapon or a training sword or whatever, you're welcome to use that in your hand. You can practice some strikes if you'd like, or you can just work on moving with something in your hand and not stabbing yourself in the face. You want to take a step, welcome to do that as well. You could take 2 steps if you have the space. All right, let's go ahead and let's do our forward triangle now. Same thing, if I wanted to take another step back, I could. So nothing saying that it has to be here, 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 all right? You could just as easily take a step back. You could just as easily, if you have the space, take 2 steps back. Up to you. Keep it going. Okay, now let's go ahead and let's do some big backward arm circles. These are more for me than for you, but maybe you need them as well. But right before I started this class, I felt my shoulder pop and don't appreciate that. And forward arm circles. Big, full range of motion. Not going too fast. And let's trunk twist. Do a few side bends. Bend to one side, bend to the other side. Stretch your neck, however you want to do that, whether you want to circle it, or if you want to just go side to side, front to back, up to you. Just move it around some. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started with the actual Kali portion. We're gonna start off first with a double strikes on our 8 angles. So we're just gonna flow through this. I'm not gonna say a certain number of times. We're just gonna do it a few times on each side. Right? So if you have a blade, make sure you're getting blade edge on both of them. 1 strike, 2 strikes, 1 strike, 2 strikes. Now, you could also do this with the side edge and then the blade edge. That's if you're imagining this as a block or kind of knocking something out of the way. But right now, try to think of 1, 2. Angle 2, 1, 2. Angle 3, 3, bring it around, 3, 4, bring it back in, 4. 5 is gonna be a thrust, flipped around. 6, 7 is gonna be circular to a broken. 8, and continue. 1, 2, 3. At this point, you should be able to do this pretty well. 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And let's go to the other hand. Same thing. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 2 more times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, take a breath. I'm gonna go ahead and set the sword down. Pick up double sticks. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna learn, I don't think I've showed this one before. Yeah, so we're gonna learn fluid strikes. It's a double stick technique. It's pretty simple. So what we're gonna be doing, we're just gonna start off in this closed chamber position. Whether you're on your left or your right, doesn't really matter. It's gonna switch. So what we're doing is the bottom hand is gonna be doing an angle 6 as the top hand is doing an angle 1. So it'll look like that. It's almost simultaneously, but the bottom hand is going just a little bit first. 6 and 1. 6 and 1. Right? And one of the reasons why it's going a little bit first is because this can actually be, and it doesn't have to be a 6. I could go out here. A lot of times we'll be using this as either a block and then a hit, or a clear and then a hit, right? So maybe they have weapons and I'm clearing their weapons off to the side and then I'm hitting. That's why I want to do it just a little bit after instead of at the same time, right? So one and then the other. And then we're going to be practicing this one with a sidestepping motion. So I'm going to go one way and then the other way. One way and the other way. So again, it's going to be an angle 6 and an angle 1. Angle 6 and angle 1. 6 and 1. 6 and 1. Doing a side step with it. So if I'm holding it in a right closed chamber position, then I'm going to do a right side step. If I'm holding it in a left closed chamber position, like I am now, I'm going to do a left side step. Fluid strikes. Now, when you feel more comfortable, you can add some speed to it. Now, I don't always have to do this with a side step. I just learned this one with a side step. You could easily just move in forward and hit. Right? The side step just helps you turn the hips a little bit and get kind of a powerful strike on here, but I could just as easily do it here, right? So I learned it with a side step, so it's kind of just how my body does it now. Even though I'm not the hugest fan of sidestepping, it does make this flow a little bit easier. Now, if you're working with a partner and you're both hitting this one high and one low. So, right, the 6 would be low and the 1 would be high. A lot of times people will go through and they'll strike it this way, like I'm striking both of them at the same time, if they're kind of working with a partner and you're trying to clack sticks. But if you're fighting with this, it's gonna be one clears or one blocks and then the other one strikes as you switch sides. So let's run through this a little bit more. don't have to go fast. Try to feel a flow with it. And backside. 6 and 1. 6 and 1. Now when I'm stepping with the side step, I want to step and have my toes already angled slightly inwards instead of completely towards the front, right? That way it's easier for me to rotate my torso because my toes are angled in. If I step here or even toes outwards, turning here requires an extra pivot, right? So let's get that out of the way just by stepping with the pivot. A few more. 6 and 1, 6 and 1, 6 and 1, 6 and 1. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're going to do heaven 6, right? 1, 2, 2, and then we're gonna do 2 fluid strikes. Okay, so what that'll look like, it's gonna be 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, fluid strike, fluid strike. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. Okay, so we're just chaining these together. They're just basically 2 Senawali techniques at this point. So, begin. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. 6 and 1, 6 and 1. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. 6 and 1, 6 and 1. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. 6 and 1, 6 and 1. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Bring it back underneath. 6 and 1, 6 and 1. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. 6 and 1, 6 and 1. Now if you have a target or you have a bag or something and you want to hit this on the bag, you're more than welcome to do that, right? You can go 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2, 6 and 1, 6 and 1, right? And then you can work on going faster. If you're trying to increase your speed, if you have a partner, you can work the same thing with your partner, clack 6. So imagine you don't have a partner, I'll be your partner. So start in a right close chamber position. 1, 2, 2. Other side, 1, 2, 2. And now we're both gonna right side step, fluid strikes. Left side step, fluid strikes. Back to heaven 6, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Fluid strikes, fluid strikes. Back to heaven 6. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. All right, so next thing that we're gonna do, we're gonna add one more step to this. Yeah? So now we're gonna go, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna do heaven 6, 1, 2, 2, 2 fluid strikes, heaven 6, 3, 4, 4, 2 fluid strikes. Repeat. Heaven 6, 1, 2, 2, 2 fluid strikes, 3, 4, 4, 2 fluid strikes. Okay, so you see the pattern? We'll start off slow. Do this along with me. If you want to mirror me, start with the left closed chamber. If you want to be my partner, clacking sticks, start with a right closed chamber. So we're gonna start heaven 6, 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Fluid strike, fluid strike. Now we're gonna go heaven 6, 3, 4, 4. So now they're horizontals. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. Fluid, fluid. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid, 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. Fluid, fluid. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. Fluid, fluid. Keep it going. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. Fluid, fluid. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. Pick up the pace a little. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. Fluid, fluid. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. Fluid, fluid. One more time through. 1, 2, 2. 1, 2, 2. Fluid, fluid. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. Fluid, fluid. All right. So that's going to be it for double sticks today. So you can either use a stick, or if you have a sword trainer, you're welcome to use a sword trainer as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull Bob out here. So if you have a target or something that you can strike, even better. If you have the ability to put a stick or something into their hand, even better than that, okay? So I'm not going to go through the whole process of putting a stick onto Bob's hand currently, but we'll just kind of imagine what he's doing. Okay, so we're going to be working a striking combination, and this is one that the pieces of it go really well in sparring. You might not hit this directly, but you could actually hit this directly, each piece of this. But it's essentially 2 engagements put into one. And now what I'll show you. The first one is going to be, and there's going to be a little bit of footwork, right? Because we have to start off at a distance where we can't actually hit our opponent. So we should be starting off in, what's the range? First range, right? The first range, range 1, projectile distance. I can't hit his hands. I can't hit anything, but I could throw something at him. All right, so we're gonna start off just outside of that range, and we're going to go with a slight step forward. So we're gonna end up doing a progressive step, right? Or a progressing step. So slight step forward, I'm gonna throw this 1, but it's gonna be a double strike, and I'm gonna start my double strike, as you're looking at me, over here, and then I'm gonna hit it, as opposed to getting the broken and then going for the circular. Right? I'm doing it more as a fake. So the first one here, and then I'm gonna go in for it. Right? The reason why I wanna do it, the circular portion over here as opposed to here, is because they're probably gonna be striking a 1 or trying to block a 1, right? And this one, I get this all the time in sparring. It works really well, especially after you learn how to sell a fake, right? Because this could just literally just be me going in and hitting a 1, right? But I'm gonna go here, and usually they're striking, and they probably strike the 1, or they're trying to block it. So now their stick is clear out of my way, and then I finish my step in, right? But I wanna be just out of range as I'm doing this, but I need to be moving forward in order to sell the fake, right? So as I'm doing this first part of it, I'm here, so I'm only stepping with my front foot at first, and notice the distance. I'm too far, and I wanna be too far out of the way for the first portion, and then back foot comes in, front foot comes in for the second portion, okay? So let's just work that. Let's do that 10 times on each side, and then we'll add the next step to this. So I'm out at a distance, I can't reach them. I'm gonna step with my front foot, circle it around, step back foot, front foot coming in, okay? And now, I actually want you to end this kind of like you just did an 8. It's gonna end low right here, okay? So don't bring it all the way through to the 2 side. We're gonna go here, boom, and I want it on that center line, downwards, okay? So you could even do this. It doesn't have to be a 1 double strike, but I'm gonna throw the first part like a 1. I could turn it into an 8. So if you wanna do that, that's also fine. Sometimes you'll end up turning it into a 3, right? It's fine as well. If you do turn it into a 3 though, don't bring it all the way past, make it broken, right? So you're ending there, or if you hit your opponent, cool, it's gonna be broken anyways. All right, so again, let's do this 10 times. front foot steps with the first part, back foot, then front foot with the second. That's 1. 2. And move back. And you can be bouncing around, right? And at ready, you can be sitting here painting. 3, front foot, hit, and back. 4, front foot, hit. I gotta stop bringing it all the way across. 5, front foot, hit. Leave it down on that center line, down low. 6, 7, 8. So once you feel more comfortable, you don't have to break it down anymore. You can just do it all in one motion. 9, 10. All right, switch hands, same thing. Ready? Here. 1, front foot moves, bring it around, back foot, front foot. Leave it down on that center line, and back. 2, front foot, circle around, back foot, front foot. 3, step, circle it around, back foot, front foot. 4, 1, 2. 5, 1, 2. 6, front foot, circle around. I'm gonna pick it up a little bit faster for these last few. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna do a shield 2. All right, so shield block 2. Okay, now with this one, we are close into them. Now it's possible that our opponent moved back a little bit, right? Bob can't move back, but it's possible that our opponent moved back, but it's also possible that they're in the same place. So with this, I'm now going to be assuming that they're throwing a angle 2. And the reason why I'm gonna assume that is because most people throw a 1 and then a 2. All right, so now if we're going on the assumption, right, we're just playing this mind game. It obviously can be completely different in sparring, but I've seen this play out a few times, so it does happen. All right, so I throw this here, and as I'm throwing this first one, and they throw their 1, I get my strike. Their 2 is coming, right? Even though I hit them, whether I hit them or not, I probably hit them. But if I hit them or not, it doesn't matter, the 2 is still coming, right? Even if I make contact with a really strong strike, they're kind of like a half beat ahead of me at this point because I slowed down a half beat to do this, right? So they're already coming for me. So I know that something's coming and chances are it's coming from the angle 2 side, and that's why I'm going to shield. So after I hit here, I'm going to shield, and now as I shield, right, because I came in and I was probably a little bit elongated, right? Because 1, 2, so my stance is a little bit elongated. I'm going to draw, right? So notice as I raise my weapon up for my shield, I'm drawing back. Maybe I avoided it completely by drawing back, but I'm still gonna have my shield up. And then I'm gonna kick my leg out again for my 2. So we're here, draw, 2. All right, so we're gonna do that now. So we're just gonna do the draw and the 2. Right? So we're gonna chain these together in a second, but just do the draw and the 2 right now. Okay, ready? So I'm here, I'm close enough to make contact. My stance is slightly elongated. I almost did a lunge here. And then I'm going to go in or out and then in. So draw back and then throw an angle 2. So we're gonna do this 10 times. Ready? Begin. 1, draw back, angle 2. 2, draw back, shield, angle 2. 3, shield, 2. 4, shield, 2. 5, shield, 2. 6, shield, 2. 7, shield, 2. 8, shield, 2. 9, shield, 2. 10. Okay, let's do the same thing on our other side. So we just came in, we just hit with either kind of a 8 or a 1. My weapon is lower, but it's on that center line. Shield as I draw back, 2 as I go forward. Ready? Begin. Shield, 2. Shield, 2. That's 2. 3. Shield, 2. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Cool. So, next thing we're gonna do is we're going to put those together. So we're gonna do this next part 10 times. I'm starting off at range number what? Range number 1. Yep. I'm coming in here. Right? So now what range am I at here? I'm at range number 3. So we're here. Now I'm going to shield as I draw back, come back forward for my 2, and then I'm gonna move backwards, right? Make sure that as you move backwards, your eyes are on your opponent. I like to do more of that sliding step, the skip, hop step, whatever you wanna call it, to move back. Up to you how you wanna move back. You could also just run off to the side, right? So I could have, after this hit, back, and I could step and run at an angle while I'm hitting that too. Another option, right? Lots of different ways to play this game, but right now we're just gonna move back so that we can stay in front of our bag, target, whatever we have. Ready? Okay, so I'm at range 1. I'm gonna come in. So this is gonna be first one. 1, front foot moves, circle around as the back foot moves, strike as the front foot moves, draw back as we do our shield, kick forward as we do our 2, hop step back. And now you might even want to hop step back with another shield or a roof, all right? Logically, I would say probably a roof is going to be best because they probably went 1, 2, 1, 2, because that's very common, right? So if you want to do that as well, you're more than welcome. You could just be ready for it as you're moving back, right? Some of the time I'll kind of just throw this as I'm getting ready to block whatever is coming. But we can logically assume that if they just threw a 2, they're probably gonna throw a 1 or a 3. Not always, but higher chance. All right, so that was number 1. 2, so I'm out here, front foot, spin it around as the back foot comes in, strike down as the front foot comes, draw back shield, 2, and move back. All right, 3, front foot, back foot, front foot, draw shield, 2, and move back. Was that 3? I think it was 3. I'm saying a lot of words in between, so I can't really count. 4, 5, front foot, back foot, front foot, shield, 2, back. 6. That wasn't a very good one. I moved out of their way completely as I did the shield and I wasn't able to hit the 2. 7. 8. 9. 10. All right, take a breath. Get ready for the other side. Okay, so same thing, left hand, we're just chaining these all together. Begin. 1, throw the fake, back foot comes up as you loop it around, front foot comes up as you strike your 1 or your 8, back foot draws as you shield, wrap around, 2, block, or get ready to block as you move back. 2, back foot, front foot, draw, 2, move back. 3, 4, front foot, back foot, front foot. 5, front, back, front, shield, 2, get ready to block. You don't actually have to block, just get ready to. What was that, 4? I think, maybe? I don't know, I can't count. 5, front foot, back foot, front foot, shield, 2, back. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and take a breath. So I really like this combination because it's pieces that I actually use and contact people with while sparring. All right, so if you've never done this before and you haven't sparred, this might seem like a lot, but this is a really quick exchange. So the tempo of this, and it'll be even faster if I was using a stick instead of my sword, because obviously this is weighted a lot heavier than those sticks are, but the speed of this is really gonna be something like, right? So it's pop, 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 I'm in and I'm out. And cool thing about this is you can have this, and my fencing coach actually told me this thought process, and I thought it was really cool. They kind of have a plan, and she used the word code, right? Like computer code, and you just press execute on that, right? So instead of trying to always see everything, you try to do something that you think would be common or that you've learned is common and has worked for you, and then you say this combination, this execution, go, right? So if I wanted to do this, I would just do this fast and quick, right? Because I'm gonna assume that they're gonna do a 1 and a 2, I would step in, right? And I'm gonna get out. But that's how, it shouldn't be like, okay, what are they doing? Right? No, because even if they threw, say, they're probably not going to, maybe they just delayed and they didn't even throw the 1 and they just kind of backed up, right? After this. Now, if they decided to throw the 1 instead of this being a shield block, this becomes a 5, right? 5 to the hand. Same thing, right? Just the shield is here, the 5 is here. That's the difference. But I can go 5-2, right? Or shield. It's the same thing. But once you've decided you're gonna do that series, that combination, whatever, press execute on the code and then run it, right? And you might take a hit. And if it's stick fighting, it doesn't matter as much. If it's sparring, it doesn't matter much. Obviously, if you're using machete, it really does matter. But be aware of that, right? Especially in sparring. See how it works, right? If you have somebody that you're sparring with and you just want to give this a shot, throw this. And then move back, right? So give that a shot, play around with it. If it works for you, let me know. If you hit it, and especially if you have a video, I really would like to see that. Okay, so last thing that we're gonna do for today is we're just going to do a little bit of free flow. So I'm gonna set a timer for 3 minutes. We're gonna play around, moving, striking. You could just be nice and light, practicing painting, all you want, whatever. Have fun with it. Mix it up. You can do double stick, you can do single stick, you can do stick and dagger. I don't really care. And begin. So 3 minutes of it, right? Just play around. If you want to be striking on a bag, you're welcome to. I always have a lot of fun doing that, but I don't want too much just smacking sounds right now while you're practicing. So if you want to practice the motions of this technique that we just did, you're welcome to do that as well. Right? Maybe you circle off to the side. Maybe you want to practice something else. Maybe you want to practice your 8-angle form. All right, you could do that. Whatever it is that you want to do, go ahead and flow. Right? If you'd like as well, go ahead and give your left hand or your non-dominant hand, for you lefties, some love. Right? You could practice envisioning your blocks, right? If I block angle 1 and I counter back, I block angle 2 and I counter back, I block angle 3 and counter back, 4 and counter back, 5 and counter back, 6, 7, 8, right? Play around with that. Do whatever it is that you want to do. Just keep the flow going and keep some footwork going. Right? If you want to practice a few power strikes, you're welcome to do so. I'm not going to today. My elbows are killing me. Remember, if you get an arm bar in the jiu-jitsu competition, they are trying to break your arm, and you should probably tap before your arm pops. Just a little piece of life advice. It makes your elbows hurt a lot less for the next few months, years maybe, who knows? We'll find out. Flow with it however you want to. If you just want to sit here and practice your painting on your non-dominant side because it feels really janky, you're welcome to do that as well. Few more seconds, keep that flow going. And time. All right guys, so I'm gonna quickly recap what we did today. So the first thing that we did was we reviewed our 8-angle double strikes, right? Hopefully at this point, you know how to do all of those. The next thing we did some double stick stuff. We learned our fluid strikes, and our fluid strikes are a 6 and a 1. 6 and a 1. Now again, I do it with a side step because that's the way I was taught. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Up to you. Play around, have fun. Next thing we did is we went 1, 2, 2, heaven 6 and Wally, then 2 fluid strikes. After we did that for a while, we did 1, 2, 2, heaven 6, 2 fluid strikes, then we went 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 4. Heaven 6, 2 fluid strikes. All right. After that, I'm gonna use a stick for this. I used the sword. We practiced building a attack combination, right? So the first part of it was our angle 1 double strike, or it could be an angle 1 to an angle 8, up to you. We went front foot as we threw the false strike, back foot as we looped it around, front foot as we threw the actual strike, whether it was a 1 or an 8, we wanted to end downwards on our center line. Okay, we practiced that 10 times on each. Then we practiced drawing back, shield 2, right? Draw back, go forward with your 2. And then we put those together where we went 1, double, shield, 2, and then moved back to reset. And we practiced that about 10 times on each side. After that, we did free flow, just practicing moving around, striking, whatever you want. It was completely up to you. Hopefully you had fun with that. All right, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's class. If you did, you know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment, tell all your friends to come learn Kali so you can beat each other up with sticks nicely. Yeah, and other than that, I'll see you in the next class. Have a great day.